All right, here we go. Here's our topic. By accounting, I don't mean like dollars and cents, although in accounting you kind of like explain or account for where the money went and went. So in that case, I do, but sort of I do. But to account is to like be able to explain or justify why certain things occur. All right, that's why I use that word. Here's some QR codes and some buttons, hopefully someday for you to use if you're not my student or if you are. Uh, we're going to find out that the two main things are these two things: energy levels and a nuclear charge. They're great money for your bank. And what this objective means is, hey, I know these two values. Why? All right. This this objective. The meaning of this objective is hey, you could think of it like this. Larry Larry asked Dr. Square, like, hey, what you know why do you do your things you do? And Dr. Square thinks of every decision as like a yes, no, or maybe. Um, and what's the in between thing that allows him to come to here? Well, he thinks of that. These two things allow him to make these decisions. So what's in my head and heart is what's basically makes them the decisions. You could think of this analogy, the objective analogy, kind of like this: what made this player great? If you tell his stats, that's not really telling you why he's good. Um, that's basically evidence proving that he's good. So the things that make him great are like his ability, obviously, to pass, because look how many assists he has, and his ability to play defense. And there are a lot of other things that we could talk about. All right, with the periodic table and its trends, there are two main things that are going to we can use to account for these trends. The first thing is the amount of nuclear charge in the atoms, the amount of protons. How you got there, and secondly, you've got um, the number of energy levels. All right. This is basically Coulomb's law: distance in terms of energy levels and uh, the amount of charge. I shouldn't say Coulomb's law, but basically an application of Coulomb's law would be a better way to put it. All right. So here are my trends. Now, these are the properties of the trends of like ionization energy, these other things. All of these things can be explained with those two factors. Your group trends, you really want to talk about your energy levels. That's how many rings are there. Your period trends, that's going across, you want to talk about nuclear charge. How much charge in the center. All right. Let's go over some examples. Why does F have a greater electron negativity? Well, the first thing you got to be really good at is finding these things on the periodic table. All right, you're going to have this on the exam. So here's F and here's C. All right. They're in the same group. All right. So that's like right up here. All right. Now, fluorine has um, less energy levels. Therefore, fluorine's electrons are going to be closer. So fluorine's going to have a greater electron affinity because with its two energy levels and chlorine has three. Remember, you always want to mention both things. Therefore, C's electrons are further from nucleus. All right, so there's my evidence. My reasoning, here we go. As these electrons move further away, the attraction goes down because Coulombic forces go down. Distance and Coulombic forces are inversely proportional. Therefore, when fluorine gains an electron, it would release more energy. All right. All right. Remember, you always want to close the knot. So kind of go back to your claim. All right. And you want to like write that you know what electron affinity is. Here's another example. Why does it have a greater electron negativity? Which of these two, B or C? Well, once again, find them on your periodic table. There they are. All right. There's boron and carbon. All right. Here they are a little closer up. I guess you didn't really need to do that. What's going to have a greater electronegativity? Electronegativity is attraction for bonding electrons. Well, this is a period. They're in a period, so I want to use my nuclear charge. All right, carbon has got more protons. It's got 6, and boron's got 5. So carbon's got a stronger nuclear charge. That means carbon's going to have a greater electronegativity, and boron would have less electronegativity. All right, there's my claim. My evidence is I just talked about it. Therefore, there we go. As the amount of nuclear charge goes down, these forces go down. All right, there you go. All right, now, I didn't do this. These things, this is a lot of information. I just didn't, what is the thing? Okay. These two variables can also be explained other things that aren't really periodic properties, so to speak. PES graphs you could look at them like, but they're not typically associated with periodic properties. One is lattice energy, how much energy it takes to separate uh, an ionic solid, or how much energy is released when that form fills. You could explain that in terms of energy levels, and PES graphs can be explained with these two things as well. The only one thing with lattice energy, um, that also depends on how much plus or minus your charges are involved, which isn't really your nuclear charge. You're talking about your ionic charge. All right. I hope this has been helpful. These are my sources. I got that picture of Mr. Stockton from there. Thank you very much. I hope this has been helpful. Let me know